We've all had moments that break us down, searching for light when the world spins round. But in those cracks, the purpose is born, a new way to live when the old is torn. It's more than a story, it's the rise from the fall, a place where your purpose starts to call. With Dr. Stevenson, wisdom takes flight, turning your pain into hope, into light. Collide with purpose, embrace the change. Every story's got a fire in its flame. Tune in, listen, find your way to take life's hardest hits and turn the page. In the podcast, the truth is found. Collide with purpose, let love abound. From heartbreak to strength, the lessons unfold. It's about how we rise, not the stories we've told. Guests with their journeys, sharing their light. In every collision, there's power in sight. It's more than a talk, it's the wisdom we gain through every struggle, through every pain. With conversations that open the door to purpose, to power, to so much more. Collide with purpose, embrace the change. Every story's got a fire in its flame. Tune in, listen, find your way to take life's hardest hits and turn the page. In the podcast, the truth is found. Collide with purpose, let love abound. So come as you are, with your scars and fears. This is the place where the truth appears. Turn your trials into stepping stones. Find the strength to claim your throne. Collide with purpose, embrace the change. Every story's got a fire in its flame. Tune in, listen, find your way to take life's hardest hits and turn the page. In the podcast, truth is found. Collide with purpose, let love abound. A collision with purpose, your journey starts here. In every conversation, we'll wipe away fear. Find your purpose, let your life ignite. With Dr. Stevenson, you'll find your light.
Good morning, good evening, and good night, wherever you are joining us from today. Welcome to Life-Changing Conversation to Inspire Actions. I am Dr. Laxley Stevenson. This is a space where dialogue is not meant to impress, but to transform, where conversations are not passive exchanges, but invitations to grow, reflect, and move with purpose. Today's conversation challenges a dangerous myth, the idea that purpose has an age requirement, that leadership must wait, and that young voices should be silent until someone grants permission. But I'm here to tell you that purpose does not wait for approval, and calling does not pause for comfort. Our theme tonight is Too Young to Be Silent: Identity, Dignity, and Purposeful Living. Our guest embodies this truth. Francisca Naana Asiedu is a passionate teen advocate, a speaker, and social impact leader who is dedicated to empowering young people to walk boldly in their God-given identity and purpose. She holds a bachelor's degree in chemistry with a research focus on natural products, extraction methods, and bioactive compound analysis, bringing both discipline and critical thinking to her work in advocacy and community development. Francisca believes that age, background, or external opinions should never limit a young person with a divine assignment. Driven by compassion, integrity, and fairness, she champions free menstrual hygiene support for underprivileged teens, standing firmly in the belief that no young girl should be denied dignity, education, or opportunity due to a lack of basic resources. Her work centers on social impact, community support, and uplifting young voices, especially those navigating socioeconomic challenges. Through her advocacy, she continues to drive conversations and initiatives that promote dignity, empowerment, and purposeful living among young people. Tonight is not just a conversation about youth, it is a conversation about courage, about responsibility, and about what happens when conviction speaks early. Let us begin. Francisca, welcome to Life Changing Conversations to Inspire Actions.
Thank you so much, Professor. Thank you for this opportunity. Like you said, my full name is Francisca Naana Asiedu. I have a first degree in chemistry and I majored in natural products. Currently, I work with Organization of International Missionaries as the ambassador for my period campaign, and I'm the Ghana coordinator for Kingdom Global Apostolic Network.
So, Francisca, before we get going, first of all, how are you doing?
I'm doing very fine, Professor. How about you?
I'm doing awesome. And it's just a privilege and honor to have you on Life Changing Conversation to Inspire Actions. And tonight we will do just that. We will inspire actions. Tell me where you're located right now.
So today I'm in Eswatini. That is the English name for Eswatini is Swaziland, a neighboring country to South Africa. We are here for missionary work and to attend the Iron Sharpens Iron Conference.
Iron Sharpens Iron Conference. I love that. I love that. You know, I'm writing a book about my life, and it's called Becoming Iron: Tales of Courage and Conviction. So I love to hear that iron sharpens iron. What a powerful, powerful concept that is. So, Francisca, tell me about your early life growing up in Ghana. What was it like growing up in Ghana?
Okay, so growing up from crèche, nursery, kindergarten, and then to my tertiary level, I've faced a lot of challenges. I've been through a lot. But one thing is that God always brought people to help me. I've encountered people who have lifted me. I've encountered people who have supported me, even up to my tertiary education. And by the grace of God, all these experiences have shaped me and then they've helped me grow. And these are one of the driving forces that pushes me in my advocacy.
Awesome, awesome. What about family? Your any siblings?
Yes. Okay, so I live with both parents, and we are siblings of seven. We are seven siblings, and I'm the seventh child.
You're the baby.
Yes, I'm the last child.
Awesome. The last child. Awesome. The last of seven, but I'm sure
Yes,
not you have lots going on. You're doing the work. So you're from a family clearly who's about doing the work.
yes, yes.
Awesome. Awesome. So, Francisca, before advocacy, before the education, and before the public voice, there was a story forming beneath the surface. So, Francisca,
Wow.
before the certifications, the education, and work, take us back to your early life. What experiences did you have that shape your sense of compassion, responsibility, and service?
Okay, thank you for this particular question. So, growing up, I faced some particular challenges, especially regarding my education. And then I met leaders or I met missionaries who didn't just listen to me. They held me, they stood up for me, they supported me. And that alone changed my perception about leadership. Initially, growing up, I thought, or some of us thought that Leadership is all about holding positions or people to work or just listening to your people. But these people or these kind of missionaries and leaders didn't just listen to me or they just write my story down. When they met me, they spoke to me and they decided to help me with my education. They supported me right from childhood. I've met NGOs, I've met men of God who support me from childhood. And these things shaped me because there are still ladies or there are still things or women who have gone through what I went through. But so now they haven't had the opportunity to meet the kind of people I met. Some are still in the dark, some are still suffering. And by the grace of God, I've had people who stood by me, who stood up for me, who supported me. Why can't just help people the same way I was helped? Why can't I just stand up for people and not just listen to their story and then sympathize with them? I can stand up for them. I can be their voice. So these kind of experiences shaped me and they helped me understand leadership better because they didn't just listen to me, they stood up for me. So leadership is just about standing for people. So all these experiences going through my education, suffering and all that, encountering people helping me shaped my idea about advocacy and leadership. And I decided to use this opportunity to also support the growing ones who are somehow in the dark like I was. Yeah.
Mm, interesting. So there are some folks who are there for you in your early life that showed up for you, and that made such a huge difference in your life.
Yeah.
And that I'm sure helped to form and model the person that you are today, and that's why you're in such a
Yes.
given space. So often, Francisca, calling reveals itself quietly through moments we don't yet recognize as part of our preparation. And you had some of that. Was there a moment growing up at home, in school, or in your community where you encountered inequality, hardship, or injustice that prepared you for the work you do today?
Yes, yes. And it wasn't just one moment. There are several moments I've encountered that are, I'll state just one. So in my community or in some communities in my country, we've had issues where women or children are abused. And sometimes within the space of just 24 hours, we see media personnel and bloggers speaking to the victim, asking the victim, what were you wearing? Where were you going? What were you doing? Trying to shift the blame from the culprit to the victim. It is always the victim's fault. What were you wearing? Were you dressing shabbily? Where were you going? Who were you talking to? They even go ahead to ask the kind of styles the man gave him. They go ahead to ask the baby or the teenagers like, what style, bed style, what kind of bed style was he giving you in the room? And I feel this is very weird because I don't know, but I've seen in Western countries where these rapists or these abusers get arrested within the space of few hours or 24 hours. But in my country, there are issues where someone or a child will go through something, and it's more about creating content. It's not about justice. It's more about creating content, being the first person to report, and then if after the report, if there was going to be a positive impact, that wasn't going to be a problem. But it's after the reporting, we just see it on TikTok, we see it on social media, and there's no justice done. So most of the time, these girls get silent. They get silent, and then we see a lot of stigmatization going on. The abuser is free to walk outside, but the victim is kept in the room because they feel it's a disgrace. And this kind of injustice, it disturbs me so much. And there are a lot of instances, but I'll just major in this particular one because it bothers my heart so much, so much.
Mm,
There are a lot of challenges going on. Yes, and these kids or these women need someone to stand up for them. So it's not just one moment, there are a lot of moments, but this particular one is a major concern to me.
mm. So that is a problem in the
Yes,
society, in the culture.
yes, yes,
And mm, yes, yes. So you had your experiences, but you didn't let it stop you. You didn't let
yes,
it stop you. You went on. Your academic path is rooted in science,
yes,
discipline, research, and critical thinking. So, Francisca, you pursued a bachelor's degree in chemistry with a
yes,
focus on natural products and bioactive compound analysis. What drew you to science, and how has that training shaped the way you approach problem solving and advocacy?
Okay, so I don't know but for me, I'm a very curious person. I'm someone who always wants to understand how things behave. And science or integrated science in total, it's all about curiosity. It's about learning or understanding how things behave, how atoms behave, why does water flow, why does this. So I'm a very curious person. And doing natural products specifically has taught me resilience, perseverance, patience, because if you are able to do natural products and you are successful, then you should be able to do everything in life. And this particular education or this particular background, chemistry background or science background, is what has shaped me, because you see, all this advocacy I'm doing is all about resilience. You need to set your mind on something that, yeah, this is what you're doing. You need to be very resilient about it. And chemistry or the natural product I did has really become, I don't know, it has really made a very big impact in me, and it has really shaped me and even helped me with my advocacy, because with natural products, so natural product is all about using what already exists,
Hmm.
to make something that is going to make our health better. So with natural products, myself, my project work, I worked on Strophanthus spirosi, and it's a plant sample. And with a previous scientist who have worked on this particular plant says that it has antioxidant properties. So then, what are the phytochemicals in this particular plant sample that is making it exhibit these antioxidant properties? So you have to do it over and over again until you get consistent values, until you reach a particular goal. And this kind of experiences or this kind of project work or science background is what has really helped me, that shaped me a lot.
Wow. Science sharpens the mind, and that's what it did for you. But Francisca, while science sharpens the mind, purpose is what shapes direction. So
Yes.
let's talk about your education. How did your education influence your understanding of responsibility? Not just to give you knowledge, but responsibility to people and your community.
Please, can I get that question again?
Right? We're talking about science really sharpening your mind, right?
Yeah.
But with all that sharpness, it is purpose. Your purpose gave you direction, shapes your direction. How did your education influence your understanding of responsibility, not just to give you knowledge, but to people and to your community?
Okay, so I think that's a very good question, and there's one thing I barely talk about on the media. So with my education, right from the start, I came from the junior high school to senior high school and university. So I've held several positions. At the junior high school, I was the senior girls prefect, and with this kind of position, I got the opportunity to have responsibilities. I think responsibility is not a burden. Responsibilities are opportunities. So I got a chance to have some responsibilities in school as young as I am. And I was even the shortest person in my class. I was the shortest person in my class, a very short person like that, but I was still voted for. And I had a lot of opportunities as responsibilities. There are a lot of responsibilities in the schools. I worked with the College of Science at the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, and I was the public relations officer for the Women's Commission.
Hmm.
And so this particular position, the public relations officer for the Women's Commission in KNUST, gave me the wide understanding of what the women needed. Because we got to speak to them, even though the university is a very expensive one, and then most of the people could afford it. There were still individuals there who were going through a lot. And being their PRO, I got a chance to speak to them, to speak for them, and to speak with them. Yeah, so this particular my educational level from the start has really shaped me with my responsibility to understand women better, And even now, I work with other NGOs to help women. So when we talk about my education and how it shaped my responsibilities and all that, I would say that my educational level right from the start has really helped me and made me understand my responsibility as an advocate. my especially the part I played as a PRO in the university. Yes.
Responsibility, understanding, service to community is a big part
Yes.
of you, who you are. And that is your identity. It's clearly, your work clearly returns to one powerful theme in your life, and that is identity. So, Francisca, you're clearly very passionate about helping teens walk boldly in their God given identity. How did you personally come to understand your own identity and purpose?
Yes, that is a very good question. So, last 2 months, I was in a junior high school and I was speaking to them about identity and purpose. And they asked me that how did I identify mine? How did I get to understand my identity and purpose? At some point in time, when I got confused, how did I become clear, or how did I get clarity about my purpose? So I did an illustration. I gave them an example like, so this is a tripod stand, and I asked them that. So if someone gives you a gift, or if you buy something from the market and you are confused about a particular product, or you need some clarity about the ingredients or the chemicals that was used to make their product, who do you return to? And they answered me by saying the manufacturer. And that is because the manufacturer's number is on the product. So I said yes. So if you return to the manufacturer because the manufacturer's number is on the product, God has given you a purpose. If you are confused about your purpose, what do you do? And they said you get close to God. And I told them that is exactly what I did. To understand my identity and purpose better, I just got close to God. And then through my relationship with God, I got to understand my identity and my God given purpose.
I thank you for that answer because many young people struggle
Yes.
not because they lack potential, but because they believe limiting narratives, and clearly that is not you. No limitations on your beliefs. So, Francisco, what are the most damaging lies teens believe about themselves, and how do you help them replace those lies with truth?
Okay, so I think a very damaging lie that has been told to these teens is that their background or their past or their resume determines their future or what God has asked them to do.
Mm,
So I speak to young people and they didn't get opportunity to understand themselves better. They've been through several bad attitudes, bad characters, and all that in the past. But they've been told that their past determines their future, which is not true. Whatever you did in the past should be put aside. Now focus on determining your purpose, focus on understanding your purpose. Put everything, when I speak to them, I say put those things aside. Maybe those times were in the dark moment, now you've seen the light, put it aside. It is not true that whatever abortion or whatever thing you did can stop you from what you are doing now. That is what is being preached in my community. Even these victims I was talking about, some of them have been kept indoors because they believe that whatever happened there or whatever happened in their past has shut them up. They can't do anything. And I tell them that that is in the past. Put those things aside. That is a big lie. You can still do what you've been asked to do. You can still pursue your purpose if you set your mind to it. Focusing on your past or having the idea that your past determines your purpose, your past determines your future is a big lie. So I always advise them to put all that aside because that is a big lie. And then gradually when I speak to them, you begin to understand and begin to know that indeed whatever happened in their past, whatever emotional trauma they've been through doesn't determine their future, or it doesn't determine how they take up their purpose boldly. Yeah.
and Francisco, I imagine that some of these young people you're talking to, they're probably your age as well. So they still listen to you because you speak
Some
with
of them.
such clarity, and you're so purpose driven, and you know who you are. So I think that's
Yeah.
commendable. I really believe that's commendable that people your age would let you lead them in such a way, in such a powerful way. So I commend you on that. I really do. I think that's awesome. You know, often faith becomes an anchor when external voices grow loud. So, Francisco, how does your faith shape the way you speak, the way you lead, and the way you advocate for young women who are challenged deeply with problems that are so seriously rooted in the system?
Yes. So my faith teaches me that God doesn't need um, your age or your background to use you. You only need your obedience, your just your obedience, a convicting heart, a ready heart. So when I speak to these teenagers or when I speak to my classmates or people of my age, I make them understand that, or people who have the same faith as I do, I make them understand that God doesn't need your age, your background, your family, and all that just to use you. I make them understand that it's only your obedience God needs. Jeremiah chapter 1, verse 7 says that, do not think I am too young. And that same chapter says that I will give you some boldness in the face of the people. So I talk to them that don't let our faith makes us understand. Don't let your age or your background limit you. God doesn't need all that. God made me understand that He doesn't need my height, my wealth, my family background, my past life, and all that just to use me. He only needed me to be obedient, to listen to whatever He's telling me, to listen to how to help these young women. So when I speak to them, I tell them that my faith has taught me to just be obedient, just a willing heart. And you need just that. You don't need so much money. You don't need to have a PhD. You don't need to have a wealthy family. You don't need to be tall. You don't need to be this and that. You only need an obedient heart. So it's just an obedient heart that has brought me this far.
Wow. And that account with such a powerful answer, I think it's time for us to take a quick break. Are you okay with that?
Okay.
Let's take a quick
Yes.
break. Again, you're watching Life Changing Conversations that Inspire Actions. My guest today is Francisca Naana Asiedu, and I hope I got her name right this time. So let us take a
Yes.
quick break and we'll come back.
I'm a boy kid, I'm a boy kid. I'm a boy kid, I'm a boy kid. I wake up in the morning and I praise the Lord. I thank Him for His protection and I walk in His steps, declaring that today's provision is set up for me. I love God and I love my friends. Yeah, I'm a bold kid. I'm a bold kid. I'm a bold kid. I put on my armor and I read His word, blessing come out of my mouth. Cause I know to whom I belong, I am bold for Christ. Holy Spirit dwelling within me, carrying His presence wherever He sends me. I'm a bold kid, I'm a bold kid. I'm a bold kid, I'm a bold kid. Loving others as He told me to pray for healing, miracles to see, knowing my identity in Christ, He is in me. I am a bold kid, He loves me, standing firm on His word, proclaiming everything I heard, not afraid because He is with me. Be bold. I'm a bold kid, I'm a bold kid, I'm a bold kid, I'm a bold kid. Put on my armor and I read His word, blessing come out of my mouth. Because I know to whom I belong, I am bold for Christ. Holy Spirit dwelling within me, carrying His presence wherever He sends me. I'm a bold kid, I'm a bold kid. I'm a bold kid, I'm a bold kid.
All right, welcome back. Welcome back to Life Changing Conversations that Inspire Actions. My guest tonight is Francisca Naana Asiedu, and she is inspiring actions. So, Francisca, let us talk about advocacy, dignity, and social impact. One of the most courageous aspects of your work addresses an issue many still avoid discussing openly. Francisca, your advocacy around free menstrual hygiene support tackles a deeply stigmatized issue. What first opened your eyes to this important need?
Okay, so what opened my eye to this important need was, we were once in a school in junior high school, and I had a friend who soiled her dress with her period. And she got shy, she took her bag and left. So when I got home, I picked my mom's phone and called her because obviously at that time, junior high school, some of us weren't using phones. So I used my mom's phone to call her and I asked her what really happened. Why did she leave school this early? And she said she didn't plan, she didn't really understand her cycle. Secondly, she couldn't afford free sanitary, she couldn't afford sanitary pads. And so she had to leave home. And I said, okay, hopefully I'll be seeing you tomorrow. And she said, no, she'll have to stay home for the rest of the week so that she can do whatever she has to do at home. She'll use clothes and all that. And I was a little bothered, even though I wasn't from a wealthy family or I couldn't afford much. At least I could afford a sanitary pad. So I was a bit bothered. And it happens to be that she wasn't the only person in the class facing that. And being the girl's prophet, I realized she wasn't the only person in the school. There were instances where a lot of women, a lot of girls skip school just because of a common sanitary pad. They just skip school just like that. So I thought this was a very important need, and some of our mistresses and some of our leaders couldn't talk about it because some way somehow they feel it's a bit disgusting. You know, this about women, blood issue and all that. They feel it's a bit disgusting, so they didn't talk about it. I thought this is a very important thing. This is something we need to talk about. This is a very important thing. So this is one of the things that really started my advocacy. This is one of the things that shaped my mind about advocacy for menstrual period, free menstrual pads and all that.
You know, Francisco, recently when I visited Kenya. And while there, we were giving out pads to students. And the men who were there with me, they wouldn't touch it. That's not something they. So I ended up passing them out. Right? Is
Yeah,
is
so
that is that the norm for men in Ghana?
yes, and in Ghana there are some cultures that believe when your woman is in her period, let her stay out of the house. There are some cultures that believe that when your woman is in her period, she shouldn't touch the food, she shouldn't touch foodstuffs, she shouldn't touch anything in the room because they believe she is unclean. And so the man will not touch you, your children will not touch you. You have to go out of the room. So yes, it has become a norm. Men do not even touch this. If by any at any point in time you get to sew your dress and then you need someone to buy some for you at the grocery shop, you dare not send a man unless that person is your brother, and even that is rare. You dare not send a man because they find it disgusting to hold something like this. And this is not a used some. This is just a new thing you are going to buy from the shop, but they feel it's disgusting, so they just don't hold it. So yeah, it's a norm. It's a norm here.
So it's more than a stigmatized issue, because this situation reaches far beyond health. It affects education, confidence, and opportunity. So, what I'd like you to share with me, Francisca, is why is menstrual hygiene fundamentally a dignity and equity issue and not just a health concern?
Yes, so like I stated earlier, this goes far to affect their education. Imagine you have a semester where there are 12 weeks. That is 3 good months. And then she gets to skip 3 times in these 3 good months. That is 3 weeks. And then these 3 weeks, there are quizzes, there are exams, and then she gets to skip all that. And it affects her education. And most of the time, because some of them skip school because of their period, some of the guys have used the women as their calendar. So if Sandra skips school the whole week, they know she is definitely in her period. And so, because of that, when she comes back to school the next week, she's very dull. She has low confidence because the guys already know she skipped school last week because of her period. So, this goes far to affect their confidence in class, even in the public settings, and their education as well, their grades and all that. So, yes, it's not just a health issue, it's an education issue too.
Hmm. We are living in year 2026. You would think that mindset will shift, some things will change. So let's hope that that is one of the things that will change,
Yes, amen.
how men approach this issue. Because that is something that women live with, their mothers, their
Yes,
sisters, and it's not going
yes,
anywhere. That's just a way of
yes,
life, right? And it's
yes.
not a crime or it's not something to look down on
No,
someone for. Certainly not. So, impact, I believe, is best understood through lived experience. So, Francisco, what have you personally witnessed in the lives of girls who lack access to menstrual resources? And how does that reality fuel your commitment to serve them?
Okay, so I've seen some ladies or even some teenagers who are as low as 12 years, 11 years, 10 years, who are pregnant. So when I saw them with their protruding belly, I asked them that how did you find yourself in this situation? And with a deep conversation, I realized that some of the men use just this to lure them to sleep with them because they couldn't afford sanitary pad. They just have to give in. So the men could give them money or could give them a pack of this just to leave. So because of that, they sleep with them. So I've met a lot of girls, I've met a lot of children, even some young women who could afford it, but because of some background issue or they couldn't afford it, they get pregnant, teenage pregnancy, because of a common sanitary pad. I know sanitary pads are not very expensive in the US, unlike Ghana and some of the African countries. But this is the situation whereby we find some of our girls pregnant. They have like they get pregnant because of just a common sanitary pad. And this kind of challenges baffles me a lot because personally I'm not wealthy, I don't have all the money, but I find it a little bit weird that we have to take something from these girls before we help them. So these are some of the challenges personally I've written that has really, that's really changed my whole perspective about, you know, the girls need help, our ladies need help, our ladies need help, our ladies need help. And this is not very common in the southern part of my country. It is more common in the northern part of my country. Just like some of the African countries, some of our northern parts are less privileged. So most of these things happen in the north. Yes.
In the North. Mm. Why is that so? Why is that so? That it happens mostly in the North. Why is that so?
Yes, so I think that you see, Ghana, for instance, we have our Parliament House where the members of Parliament meet. We have it in Accra, that is the southern part of the country, and we
Mhm.
have most or all the members of Parliament being in the southern part of the country. We have most of the rich men investing more in the southern part of the country, and we neglect the northern part of the country. And
Mm.
listening to some of my Nigerian brothers and sisters, it's the same thing in their country. We are more focused about the security and the improvement of our urban areas, the urban areas in the southern part of the country, and we forget or we neglect the rural areas in the northern country, the northern
Mm.
country. So it's always like that. I don't know why it's like that though, but this kind of things is why most of our northern parts are underprivileged and they lack these basic necessities. Yeah,
So
we are more focused on the parts.
a lot to do with representation, and the more
Yes,
rural areas. So
yes,
you have less representation.
yes.
So this is something that I often wonder about because advocacy, especially at a young age, is not always comfortable. But you seem to fit in very well with that, with advocating for others. What has it cost you emotionally, socially, or personally to stand publicly for dignity and empowerment? And you're talking about things that men may not necessarily agree with in your culture. We're talking about men back away and walk away, even when it's their sisters. They don't want to get involved with certain things, but yet you stand up and you speak publicly about it. What has it cost you, and what has it cost you emotionally, socially, or personally to stand publicly for dignity and empowerment?
Okay, so personally, I would say the only thing this thing has caused me is to step out of my comfort zone. Because I'm someone who always like to hide in my room. I always like to stay in my room. I do not talk much. You barely see me playing around. I always want to be in my comfort zone. But this particular advocacy has even cost me my own comfort zone, my own temperament. I thought I was an introvert before, but you can never be an introvert doing something like this. You need to speak out, you need to move out, you need to speak to dignitaries, you need to move about. So I would say the only thing this has caused me is my comfort zone. I had to step out of my comfort zone, traveling to villages, going to schools, going everywhere, and I have to sometimes speak in front of men, even though this might sound disgusting or less important. I have to speak to. Sometimes I feel quite uncomfortable because I'm speaking to grown-ups, I'm speaking to adults, but I have no choice because this is a very important need. So it has cost me my comfort, the way I wanted to live my life, but it's all good, and I'm fine.
But it's a price worth paying, I'm sure. It's a price worth paying. Your comfort is a price worth giving up for the work and for the impact of the work. So let's talk a little bit about leadership, which is a big piece of your work. And leadership, as you know it, is not sustained just by passion, but also by integrity and resilience. So, Francisca, I want you to share with me and our audience, how do you remain grounded and emotionally steady when the work becomes heavy? And clearly, your work is not light, it is heavy. How do you remain grounded and emotionally steady?
Okay, so the only one thing that keeps me grounded is the reason I started. At some point in life, when I feel like giving up, I just remind myself that what was the reason that kept you on your feet? What made you start what you are doing? And the reason still stands. The reason is still there. So when I feel like giving up, sometimes I go through some stigmatization. I get people to sack me from their classrooms, people to sack me from their communities. And sometimes I feel like giving up because who has sent me? I was on my own. But what keeps me grounded or what keeps me going is the fact that the reason why I started is still there. The reason I started still holds, and that same reason that kept me going. So that is the only thing that keeps me grounded. When I feel like giving up or when I feel like stop what I'm doing, the only thing that keeps me grounded is throwing my mind back to the reason that made me start this. And like I
Mm,
said earlier, natural product chemistry has taught me resilience and perseverance. So anytime I feel like giving up, just be resilient, just push. Because the reason that made you start this is still there. That same reason is still there, and it's happening, and it has even become worse. So that is
mm.
the only thing that keeps me grounded. Is train my mind back to the reason that made me start this.
So you circle back to where it all began,
Yeah.
the why, and that is what keep you involved. And you say
Yes.
that in some respects things are just as bad as back then when you started. I
Yes.
think I heard you. I hear you saying that in some respects, circling back then and
Yes.
now, things are just as bad in certain cases.
Yes, yes, things are going very bad. Things are going. I thought because we are going forward as a world, the world is improving, but that particular aspect is rather going worse. And I don't know the issue behind it,
Mm,
but it's rather going worse. Computer things are improving. Our social media is improving, but that side is rather going worse. Yeah.
mm, mm. And with social media, I'm sure it's even highlighting more of the negatives with social media.
Yes, but yeah.
Mm, wow. So your work, Francisca, raises important questions about how society view and see young people. What do adults, institutions, or systems most misunderstand about teens today in Ghana, where you're from in Ghana? What do these institutions, adults, or systems most misunderstand about teens today?
Okay, so back in my country, people think or people assume these little kids or these women do not care about what is going on. But that is not the truth. The only thing is that they are not getting the support they need. That is the only thing. But when we support them, when these government officials and these women in authority support them, they will all come together as one people and they will fight this particular cause. And because some way somehow our girls are silent or they are somehow reserved, we think or the people assume they don't care, but that is not the truth. They do care, but they are not getting the support they need. Yeah,
Mm,
they think they don't care, but they do care. They are just not getting the support they need. But if they should get the support they need, with all the government officials, our pastors, our leaders, our chiefs, and our kings are to come together to support these young women, I tell you, they'll move like an army They'll move like an army. The only thing they need now is the support. So it's not as if they do not care. They do care. They just need the support. Yeah.
Hmm. Real changes requires collective responsibility. We must come together, right?
Yes. Yes.
Collectively to create change.
Yes.
What role do communities, schools, families, and faith institutions play in creating environments where young people can truly thrive?
Okay, so aside the organization I work with, that is Organization of International Missionaries, there are other NGOs and some churches and even some chiefs have taken it upon themselves to some way somehow do what I'm doing. So there are some NGOs that sponsor little girls with sanctuary pads. And you see, one thing about this thing is that most of the sponsorship goes to the southern part of the country. And comparing the southern part of the country to the northern part of the country, more people in the southern part of the country can afford this. But yeah, just like you said, we have churches, we have NGOs, and there are a lot of people who are also doing what I'm doing. They speak to young girls. Sometimes when I go to the classrooms, I meet people who are teaching the young girls about their cycle, about how their cycle work, how to keep their personal hygiene. So yeah, some way somehow there are some churches, there are some communities, some chiefs, and some individual people who have taken it upon themselves to help this young lady strive. Yeah, so yeah, some way, somehow it's collective, just that it's just a few people that are doing it. If we are 100% in number, we have just 2% of the people who are doing this. Yeah.
As we're drawing down, getting ready to close, I'm going to ask you some what we call quick fire reflection questions.
Okay.
And I want you to give me short answers, but
Okay.
powerful truths. All right. So, Francisca, identity or approval? Which must a young person protect at all costs? Identity or approval?
Identity.
Tell me why.
So approval is all about people's opinions about you. And all the time, approvals are temporal, but your identity will stick to you to the rest of your life. Approvals are just people's opinion about you, what people say about you, how people approve what you are doing, and those things are temporal. But your identity is who you are, what defines you, where you are heading to, and some character traits. So that is the only thing you need to protect. People's approval are just temporal. You shouldn't pay attention to that. I would rather choose identity over approval.
Any day, every day. All right. Great answer and great explanation. Compassion or courage? Which has shaped your journey more?
Courage, courage.
You know, I'm going to ask you to tell me why, right?
Yes. So just like I said initially, I've had chances where I had to enter some rooms. There are some principles that do not just allow people to enter their rooms. You need to still move ahead. So I go to some rooms, even though they sack me in order, but you still need to be courageous. You still need to enter certain rooms. You need to enter certain offices just to ask permission to speak to their people or to give us certain sanctuary parts. And what I'm doing is to take courage because there are some women in the community who can afford or who will make these things easier. But what they lack is courage. Some of them sympathize with these young girls. They have the compassion to do this. But what they lack is the courage. And that is what I have now by the grace of God. Yes, so courage
Mm.
any day.
You walk with that, don't you?
Yes. Yes.
Awesome. Awesome. All right. Francisca, if everything listening took one step toward purpose this week, what should that step be?
Okay, I'll ask them to, for now, focus on finding their purpose.
Mm. And where do they start?
Yes.
How do they start that process?
So, just like I said earlier, to find your purpose or to understand your purpose, you need to get close to the one who gave you your purpose. Start by working on your relationship with God. Understand what He has asked to do, what He has asked you to do, and tend to identify what you find passionate, the things you find passionate about. Identify them, jot them down, and that same week tend to find some mentors or people who are already in that field. Speak to them and let them coach you. Yeah.
Mm. So, this is what I would like you to do for me, Francisca. I want you to look into the camera and I
Okay.
want you to speak to one person, that person who you credit for you becoming the person you are today. Talk directly to that person. Tell them how you feel. Say thank
Is
you to
that
them.
okay? You want me to say thank you to people who have helped me?
One person, select one
Okay.
person and talk to them
Okay.
directly. Tell them how you
Okay.
feel and show your appreciation to them. You can call their name.
Okay, so I want to use this opportunity to thank my elder brother, that is the first child, Frederick Asiedu, popularly known as Frederick Asiedu IM Ghana, who is on the media. He is one of the people who have pushed me, they've motivated me to do whatever I'm doing. He's actually the person who made me the ambassador for my period campaign. And through him, I've met a lot of American and European missionaries who supported my education from childhood, who have pushed me with this advocacy. And another special thanks goes to him because he's one of the people who, aside connecting me to American missionaries, he himself has helped me. In fact, he's the major person who sponsored this trip. Though I had some sponsorships coming from elsewhere, but he's one of the people who has been sponsoring my trips outside the country to communities and to some of the villages. So I want to say a very thank you that even though you do not see the way I see, you do not see the things I see about these young girls, but you are trying to look into my lens and understand what I'm seeing, and you are supporting with everything I'm doing. Together and on behalf of the teenagers, we say thank you very much, Frederick Esidu.
Mm, powerful. Frederick, I want to say thank you. Look what you have done. Look what the person we have right now. Great work. You did an awesome job in supporting your sister, and we're grateful to you for the impact she's going to make in this world. And she's crediting you for that. We will, and we look forward for more to come from both of you,
Amen.
for that matter. So, Francisca, before we close, I'm going to give you an opportunity to speak what is on your mind.
Okay. Okay, so I want to speak to Ghana and Africa at large that the issue about menstrual hygiene and our women is something that should never be neglected. Our women need our voices. Our women need people who will stand up to them. I'm speaking to the members of parliament in Ghana, members of parliament all over Africa and the world to come together as one voice and speak for these children. Don't just sit at home and sympathize with them. We need huge voices. We need effective voices. We need members in parliament. We need people in the traditional communities. We need people all around the world to support our women. Let's come together. Together we can work. We divided before, together we stand. Let's come together. It's not that they do not care. Our women and our children care. The only thing they need now is your support, and they'll come together as an army. So we look forward to hear from all of you, pastors, leaders, chiefs, kings, presidents, members of parliament, that let's come together and support our women. Period is not a choice. Period, we do not just choose to have it. Period is something that is part of us. We didn't just choose to have it. It is something that is part of us. And so we shouldn't be stuck away, or we shouldn't be neglected because of something we do not choose to have. So let's come together and support these young women who are suffering or who are in the communities and they are shedding tears because of something they didn't choose to have. So I'm pleading on everyone to come together, add this on your bucket list. Both poor and wealthy people, add this on your bucket list. If you cannot afford to help us monetarily, we need your voice to help us. We need your voice. We need some opportunities from you to help us push this particular agenda. Thank you all for coming on board.
Thank you, Francisca, for that powerful call to action. Now, as we close today's show, depending on where you're watching from, of course, one truth should be unmistakable. Purpose does not wait for permission, and dignity should never be delayed. What we witnessed on this platform today was not simply a conversation, it was a reminder. A reminder that leadership is not defined by age, but by courage. That identity is not something we grow into later, but something we must protect early. And that when young voices are empowered to speak with conviction, entire communities can change and will change. And that is what we're looking forward to in Ghana and throughout Africa. Tonight, today, Francisca did more than share her story. She issued a call to action, a call to see young people differently, a call to protect dignity where it has been overlooked, and a call to act where silence has been accepted for far too long. Francisca, on a personal note, I want to say thank you. Thank you for
Thank you so
speaking up.
much.
Thank you
Thank you
for your
too for your support.
courage. And thank you for your clarity and your unwavering commitment to your work, to your purpose. Thank you for standing where it is uncomfortable, for speaking where it would be easier to stay quiet, and for reminding us all that impact does not wait for approval. And I want to tell you that your work, your voice, and your conviction make a huge difference. And
Yes.
they are changing lives.
Amen.
So, Francisca, I want to give you the last word. So, say, talk to me, talk to our listeners, talk to our audience one more time.
Okay. Thank you very much, Professor Lexley, and your family and everyone you work with, your church, your family, your missionaries, and everyone you work with. I say thank you very much. And I went through your profile as well. I saw you went to Kenya, you went to provide your support. And I want to plead with you to add Ghana to your bucket list. Add Ghana to your bucket list. Speak to your people. Let them come to Ghana. We need your support. Please come to Ghana. Come to the northern part of the country. Come to Ghana. Come and support us. We need your support. We need your voices. And one of the amazing things is that when the Americans come to Ghana, they something I could have used 1 year to do, something that they use just 1 month to do. They can use just few days to do something I would have used so much days to do. So I'm pleading with you and your followers to come to Ghana. If you are listening to this video, if you are watching us, come to Ghana, come and help us. If you, I wouldn't force you to choose Ghana, but you can choose the other countries you are comfortable with, other countries you can afford. Move, step out of your comfort zone. Go to a community, choose a community, choose a country, go and support them, go and help them. They need your voice. You might not have all it takes to support, but they need your presence. They need you to speak to them. They need you to encourage them. So if you are listening to us, on behalf of Professor Lexley and everyone that is in support of what we are doing, we are asking you to step out of your comfort zone and choose any community of your choice. Help people, speak to them, and encourage them, and support them. And this is all we ask of you. Thank you.
And I thank you for sharing that because Ghana is definitely on our
Wow.
list. We're looking to come there, and very soon. What with our conversation tonight, I believe that the our what we do at the Collision with Purpose will get out more in Ghana. We really don't have a presence there yet, but we plan to have a presence there, and we build that. And with your support, you and the work that you do, you will bring us to Ghana. I'm sure.
Amen. Yes.
You will
Very
bring us to
soon.
Ghana. So, and of course, yeah, we're coming to Ghana. That's all I will say. All right, folks, you've been watching Life Changing Conversations, Inspire Actions. And tonight we did just that. We inspired action through the words of Francisca Naana Asiedu. And she did an amazing job and a call to action that we must listen to. With that, join me next Wednesday for another episode of Life Changing Conversations to Inspire Action. Until then, we'll see you. Blessings always.
We've all had moments that break us down, searching for light when the world spins round. But in those cracks, the purpose is born, a new way to live when the old is place where your purpose starts to call. With Dr. Stevenson, wisdom takes flight, turning your pain into hope, into light. Collide with purpose, embrace the change. Every